wonder where she is. Edith is right there, so I'm sure Lane is somewhere. Right?
If it wasn't for her, she wouldn't.
Right, right.
Oh.
Oh, nope, that's you, Patrick. Why don't you just take Lane's mic then? She's not here.
Okay.
Let me put my... Okay. I want to get it.
I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Steve Fowler. Woo! Oh, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind, yeah, stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
All right. Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. All right. We got the Soul Purpose Band, guest harmonica, Patrick Harbula, the Reverend Hernanda Nanda Nanda. So good to have you all here this morning. Happy Halloween, trick or treat, and all that sort of stuff. Had a wonderful time yesterday at the street fair. I don't know how many of you got out there, but it was a lovely, lovely time. And the weather was absolutely perfect. Dr. Susan and team put together a wonderful thing. And we gave away, I know we must have given away at least 10 or 12 boxes of books. And we took 95 children's books and came back with none. So the kids took all the children's books. And it's really something that we get to do, that we get to give. And we're giving away really good books. I mean, these are hardcover children's books. And the other books we give are all the variety that you guys give us and others. So it's metaphysical books, it's novels, it's even how to geek out books on your computer. We had it all going out there, and people love to have it. And a lot of interest. We have people coming up to find out about the centers. We had a lot of interest in people wondering, what is the Center for Spiritual Living? So we get ourselves out there, and it looks like the city is going to do 2 street fairs now. There's going to be a fall street fair and a spring street fair. So we'll be back on April 30th will be the next street fair back up there at the top of the hill at the Simi Town Center. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for participating in it, and glad we can participate in that. And we're going to continue to do stuff because people signed up for these baskets, and the kids are really into it. The kids love us. They a lot of sign up. The adults, they like us. They have 3. But the kids love us because they love Dr. Susan. She's got that magic with the children, with the cosmic kids, all right? So that's just some of what we do to support our community and to live our vision and our mission, which we're going to do right here and now. And we are community, inclusive,
loving,
and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do in a whole new and different way. Because today's practitioner of the day is Reverend Jennifer Nigham, who loves the center but found her joy and her passion in working with communities and giving her spiritual all in all. And the job she got has her working on Sundays. And she's like, but I still want to do practitioner of the day. So we could figure it out. And so what we did is we got her on video. So here's Reverend Jennifer to do our opening treatment.
Good morning, spiritual family. Happy Halloween. Let's get into our seats, get comfortable, close our eyes so we can open this service in prayer. So grateful for each one of us here present, whether it is in our physical sanctuary of CME CSL, or whether it's out here in cyberspace with me. So grateful that we can come together this morning and know this truth that God is the only thing present. So grateful for this time to settle into our seats and to settle into deep consciousness where we realize that nothing else is. There is only God. There is only infinite joy, infinite peace, infinite love. That no matter what anyone has come here to receive or to give, it is already done in mind. So grateful for divine wisdom. So grateful for our spiritual leader, Reverend Stephen Rambo, who has already given the perfect talk. So grateful for divine beauty, for our music team who shares the perfect songs. So grateful for all who have gathered today to be in service, whether it's back in the booth or here at our physical door. So grateful for that divine compassion that contributes here today. Knowing wholeness, knowing healing, knowing health, knowing safety. That we sit here this morning knowing the truth through our teaching, the science of mind. That whatever word and phrase and idea and talk title that is uttered reaches all the right ears. I release these words knowing a perfect, beautiful Sunday service is already done, and so it is.
So it is.
So everyone, let's stand and sing our opening song.
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love? Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today? How can I serve today? Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today? Sweet Spirit.
And we're bringing back Reverend Jennifer.
Hi, our reading today comes from The Endless Practice by Mark Nepo, and it's page 51. Moments that immerse us and renew us often stand like invisible doors we must open. Only honest gestures open such doors, gestures that minimize what stand between us and life. Letting things near us will open doors. Leaning into what comes our way will open doors. Putting some things down so we can meet life freely opens doors. Letting things clear like muddy water settling opens doors. Dropping our conclusions lets us view life freshly. And the humility of wonder will open everything. We are going to read an affirmation together. I will read it once, and then please repeat it after me. Transcending appearances, I move into a field of divine awareness where I become certain of my unfolding good. Transcending appearances, I move into a field of divine awareness where I become certain of my unfolding good.
This morning we have our new friend, Nikki Starr.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. You guys know this song, so you can sing along, all right? Don't be bashful. Let me be bashful. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You might say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. No, no. I hope someday you will join us, yeah. And the world is one. And the world will live as one.
Thank you, Nikki. Beautiful.
Now is the time in our service to spend 3 minutes together in silent gap meditation, where we rest in the gap between our thoughts. Please begin. Let's slowly come back into our sanctuaries. Here ends our meditation.
I am in the darkness. I am in the light. See me if you can. Everywhere I am. Nikki, come on out. Yeah.
The song is called Precious Time. Making the most of our time here on earth, so that was the inspiration behind this song. She was a woman with long auburn hair, born under the sign of Aquarius. When the springtime flowers bloom, she'd wear a necklace of amethyst on a silver chain her mother made. With her last breath as she left this world, she whispered in her daughter's ear. She said, leave behind something meaningful. Leave behind something beautiful. Something someone can hold on to with their heart. Something someone can relate to. 'Cause even if it's just 1 out of 1 million, understand your mind. It was worth your precious time. Yeah. Ooh, oh, oh. Pleasant nature was this young handsome man, complete natural in the art and dance. He also had a knack for giving many children a kind face, a pretty place where they could run to. Time and space were all was heaven. Time to forget what life had dealt them. He made them laugh and smile, tears that put the pain. Ooh, oh. So leave behind something meaningful. Leave behind something beautiful. Something someone can hold on to with their heart. Something someone can relate to. 'Cause even if it's just 1 out of 1 million, understand your mind. It was worth your precious time. Yeah. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh. grace and use it. When you feel something heaven sent, show it. We're the hands that make the sands fall through the hourglass, through the hourglass. Show the time we use, we can never refuse. Gotta use the time, use the time, our precious time. So leave behind something meaningful, and leave behind something beautiful, and something someone can hold on to with their heart, and something someone can relate to. 'Cause even if it's just 1 out of 1 million who understands your mind, it was worth your precious time. Yeah. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh.
Nikki Starr.
Beautiful, Nikki.
Beautiful. Nikki, you're our COVID gift. We met you during COVID, and now you're here in person. How wonderful that is, right? Yeah. There she was for like the last 18 months. Now she's like the whole thing. It's beautiful. Precious time. You know, this is the time of year when time does start to seem so precious, where the veil is thin. Every day, it's like getting darker sooner and sooner. That transition between day and night seems so thin suddenly. And if it's not enough, wait till next week, because November 7th is when Daylight Savings Time ends. 1 more hour earlier that the sun will come down for us. It's going to be really crazy. That's what we get to move into. The veil is thin. And it's something that's happened in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's happening forever. And as a result of that, we get these wonderful holidays this time of year, right? We get this time where the dark descends, and appearances seems like dark is taking over, right? And because of that, I think that's where some of these, the Celtic holiday, which was, well, the thing about the darkness for me, before we even get to that, is it just seems like I take my evening walk, and it suddenly it seems like there's something lurking in the bushes, in the hedges. Like, that wasn't, what's that? What's that? What's that? You know? And I think that's what happened to our ancestors when they decided to come up with these wonderful holidays, the All Saints' Day and what I thought was Samhain, which actually is Samhain. You heard of this Samhain? That's where Halloween actually came from. It's a Celtic holiday that celebrates this time of year where the veil is thin, where they thought the afterworld and the day world were closer together because dark descended so fast upon us. And Halloween is an offshoot, a root, a beginning of that was also taken up with All Saints' Day. You know, the global church, the Catholic Church, as it moved across Europe, decided that they would try to entice people into their faith by tearing down their pagan symbols and building their cathedrals right over the top of them and taking their pagan holidays and calling them something like All Saints' Day. But it's really Samhain, and it's the same kind of a thing. We also have another one, Dia de los Muertos, right? Where we also celebrate that same kind of thing, which was the Aztecs, who were the North American version of the Celtics, the mystics of the period, that were looking at how do we bring that afterworld into the present world so we can know just how precious time is for us, to riff a little bit off of Nikki's song. Now, we take in this holiday, of course, and then the kids go trick-or-treating. They put their mask on, and all of a sudden, it's all joy. It's not the sadness anymore. And as a result of that, they're okay. We're really excited when we see our kids come to the door, ready, trick-or-treat. We got all the candies, we're ready to give out the sweets and everything like that. And we're delighted. We're not scared at all by what they're wearing behind their mask, what they're putting their mask on, right? But what if we knew that we were also equally as safe in our own lives? What if we knew that despite all the appearances and the challenges that we face, what if we knew that we were ready to receive the treat of life and not to live in the trick of life, right? What if we could just dive into that? Well, that's what our teaching, that's what the Science of Mind teaching does for us. And that's what this time of year where the veil is thin does for us. You know, there was a time where Dr. Ernest Holmes apparently had a mystical experience. He was at the Whittier Church. He was doing the christening or the opening of the Whittier Church, and he was doing a speech, and he was going on, and he was getting very mystical in his expressions, and suddenly he stopped, and he looked back into the back of the room, and he says, "I shall stop there, for the veil is thin." He had that experience of touching the mystical just on the other side, the mystery. And that's what this time of year is. It's for us to explore the mystery of what's on the other side and to look beyond the appearances. And that's what we talk about in the Science of Mind, where Dr. Holmes writes, appearances, see, there's something about appearances. Appearances would limit the future possibility of humankind to the uses we have already made of life, and thus circumscribe the infinite. Hence, we are told to judge righteously and not by appearances. That's the journey that we're on, my friends. That's the journey we're on. See, if we just let the appearance be what it is, if we let the appearance of the world, if we stay with the fact that we're going to be in lockdown forever, if we hold that into the appearance, then there's something here called the infinite and that's waiting to be expressed. We cannot circumscribe the infinite. We can't enclose the infinite. If we do, the law says something about that. It says, well, that's what you think the infinite is. That's what's going to be. But that's not what we get to do, and that's what we learn in the Science of Mind. We get to break the boundaries of the appearance and not judge by that, but to judge righteously. And the right idea is that we are divine and perfect experiences of God being expressed in time and space. There is something here for us to do that is beyond what has been circumscribed for us to do. There's a broader idea unfolding for us. So what if we grabbed that idea? What if we knew that idea no matter what? What if we saw ourselves beyond where we currently are? What if we asked the caterpillar? So let's ask the caterpillar. This is a lovely, I'm loving Richard Rohr, and he puts out a magazine quarterly. It's called Wanting. And there's an article in here called Chrysalis by William Paul Young. I thought I would share some of it. He says, I did. This font's big enough. Ask any caterpillar. She spends her days largely focused on immediate self-gratification. But when seeing a butterfly pass by, is unexpectedly caught by the wonder of flight and beauty. An internal longing for something. Like the caterpillar goes, whoa, right? Even when the therapist aphid whispers to her, you need to know that you are by nature a butterfly. That is the truth of who you are. You are by nature a butterfly. That is the truth of who you are. The caterpillar takes one look in the mirror and shakes his head and says, ah, and runs to the nearest leaf to munch away in consolation. How many times do you come here on a Sunday and I tell you you're a butterfly, and you go home and you look at your house, or you look at your appearances, or you look at your bank account, or you look at your situation, and you go, oh, no, just have me some more Haagen-Dazs, please. Right? But that's not it. He goes on to say, she has no idea of the intense and excruciating journey that lies ahead of her, where inside of suffering and what will seem to be death, there will emerge not another being, but the truth of her being that has been there from the beginning. But the key here is there's some suffering along the way. It might not be easy. We might feel like we're going to die. You might be like the guy who goes off to the retreat. Some of you here for meditation. This is a repeat for you. But this might be like the guy who goes off to the retreat, and after a while he comes away, he comes back transformed. And his neighbor says, "What happened to you at the retreat?" He says, "Well, I died." "You died?" "I died. Yeah, I did. I realized at the retreat that I had been playing with life. I had been wearing masks. I was a mask before my wife. I didn't let her know who I really was. I was a mask before my job. I tried to do it but not do who I was. I was a mask in front of my children. And each one of those, as I became aware of them, I died to find out the truth is that I was a mask to myself. I didn't even know who I was as a middle-aged man. I had to die to that. I died again and again, over and over, only to find that I am transformed into something new. But he had to go through the pain of that. Sometimes we have to go through the pain of letting go what feels comfortable. Sometimes we have to go through the pain of letting go of the appearance. Sometimes we have to go through the pain of saying, "Oh, I have to stop doing that," so that we can spread our wings and fly like the butterflies that we are. See, behind the mask, it's comfortable. Feels good. We feel protected. We feel safe. We don't want to feel unsafe. We don't want to work that hard sometimes. He goes on in this article of Chrysalis. It's so wonderful. He says that we are not caterpillars. We want an extreme makeover and a shortcut to save us some suffering. Please, God, send me to Disneyland and heal me by the time I get back. That's what we want. But that's not what it's going to be. It's not going to be. And if you go to Disneyland, you know there's the wait. There's the suffering even at Disneyland. You know, we got to walk through the journey. But we have something that will help us walk through the journey. And you don't actually welcome the retreat experience, the dying experience. But the science of mind teaches us that while we may need to admit the fact of our lack, we may need to admit the fact of our appearance at the present moment, it's not a necessity in our life. It's not a necessity. We can have unhappy ideas, but the unhappy ideas are untrue. They're untrue. But the unhappy ideas seem believable. Our appearances seem real. So we got to go like, "Oh, that's the way it is." But we know through our teaching that there is something more. Remember the infinite? The infinite? We can break the circumscription around the infinite and expand into that greater yet to be. The mask may be a fact, but it's not the truth. Ask the butterfly. It will tell you. That's where we get to go. Let's see here if this is going to go for me. Reset. Reopen. It's not working out for me. I think I'm going to go to Disneyland. Nah. I'm a 21st century man, and I got the big picture idea here. That's really it. I got the big picture, the truth. I'm going to go with Rumi's idea, that out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I shall meet you there. That's what I want to tell you about. Out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I want to meet you there. And on the other side of that, it says, once I get into that field, I find there are divine ideas where words do not even matter because it's just an infinite presence waiting for me right there. See, sometimes we have to go beyond what we're seeing right here and now and see the bigger picture. Open up to the wider view, the wide-angle lens of life. That's the infinite presence is waiting for us. Mark Nepo talks about that in the Book of Awakening, where he says the truth is that being alert often requires us to widen our focus, to see with what the Sufis call the heart's eye. The heart's eye. Can we see with love? Can we see with this expansive space? And when we're seeing with love, that's synonymous for God, synonymous for the presence. Can we see with God's eye? With the eye that God sees, it's my eye, and God's eye is one eye, as Meister Eckhart tells us. If we can go to that place, then we can move through those moments of suffering. We can even move through moments of iPad crashing when we exercise the wider picture and the bigger view. I'm feeling a little biblical today. I read some John in the meditation this morning, and now I'm going to go to the psalmist where they said that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. But what is the key phrase in that passage? Walk through. We must walk through the suffering moments, not around them, but through them. And that's the key point. See, the appearances that we see in our life that sometimes seem challenging for us, it's not to avoid them, not to skip or anything. It's to push through that. That's the hard part. That's why it's not Disneyland. We got to go head on. And in the head on, we allow spirit, we allow the heart's eye, God's eye, the love eye, to see a bigger picture for us and open ourselves up to that bigger picture and avoid the spiritual bypass and get the great expression of spirit to move into our life, to lift us to this new space. And this is what the Science of Mind gives us the opportunity to do by practicing these principles that we have here. It gives us that wider focus that is a space of enlightening that allows us to know what to do and to do it with a sense of certainty. You know, the old man and his grandson are out in the boat and they're fishing. And they're having a good time, and Grandpa's kind of nodding out. The grandkid's a little restless, and he looks over and he's watching the water beetles. And he sees a little water beetle climb up onto a rock. And it just lays up there on the rock and it starts to dry out on the rock. And while the water beetle's drying out, he's like, he sees something start to like crack and move, and he wakes up his grandpa and says, Grandpa, look. And he look at the water beetle, and sure enough, the water beetle's cracked open, and out from the shell of the water beetle comes a beautiful dragonfly. But the water beetle walked up onto that rock with certainty, despite the appearance of being a water beetle, and the other water beetles are going, dude, what are you doing? He says, I got to go up onto this rock and dry out because I don't know. But something's calling me to do it. Sometimes that's going to happen to us. I don't know, but something's calling me to do this. And when you do it, crack open, dragonfly. Beautiful. That's the expression that we get to go through. And those are the thin veils of life that we're facing sometimes. That's what happens when we can break through the appearance moment. You know, the appearance is just a thin veil, but it appears solid, but it's not. A woman named Mary Margaret Sekarak has wrote this thing called the Blessings of Powerful People, or some Beatitudes of Powerful People. But the working person's Beatitudes, that's what it's called. And here's what she says. Blessed are they who can see the big picture, for they will always have the vision to look beyond the here and now. That's who we get to be. We get to be the blessed with the big vision to look beyond the here and now into that greater that is unfolding through us and because of us. But we get stuck. We get stuck. It's easy to get stuck. I mean, you know, it's just life. We get into the groove. We get into the habit. This is the way I go. This is the channel I watch. This is the show I like. This is the book I read. We love to own stuff. You don't believe we like to own stuff? Just talk to any person who's experiencing what looks like homelessness. Their shopping cart is full of stuff. We love to have our stuff. We love to know what's right and wrong and be on the side of right and argue about the wrong, you know. But if we trusted the big picture, if we could look beyond the new and now, if we could break through the veil of confusion and jump into what will be the new normal for our lives, and we all know we're shaping a new normal every day right now, that's what's happening to us, then we will know how to start. We will know how to get unstuck. Mary O'Malley says that opening to life brings you into full engagement with what is happening rather than keeping you caught in a conversation about life. Opening to life brings you into full engagement with what is happening rather than keeping you caught in a conversation about life. That's about appearances, my friends. Are we in a conversation about life? If we are, we're judging by the appearances. We're getting sucked in by the appearances. We're standing on this side of the veil. But if we want to peek through the veil onto the other side, it means giving up your war with life, with what life is bringing you. Quit fighting what you got. Quit fighting what's in front of you. And surrender And when we do surrender that higher spirit to that greater understanding, we get the beetle knowledge. We get to climb onto the rock with certainty and watch what happens to our life. But these are not easy things to do. But that's what this season is here to remind us. That's what Dias de los Muertos is here to remind us. That's what the Halloween experience, what the Samhain holiday, the All Saints' Day is here to remind us. It's not about a life and a death and the afterlife and all that. It's about the eternality of life. It's about the transitions of life, and that we're sometimes going to have to die to one to live to the other. And that's the big picture. Life will bring death. It's just part of it. It comes with it. It's part of the duality of the continuation. You know, there's one end and the other end. And it can't be anything other than that. That's how it works. If there's going to be a left, there's going to be a right. If there's going to be a stick, it's going to have one end and another end. That's how these things work. That's the duality experience. But they're on the same continuum. And that's the wholeness experience. That's the wholeness experience. You know, it was a book that came out many years ago. It was called Memento Mori. Do you know what memento mori means? You are going to die. The book is about, I guess it must be an old book because they actually had to answer the phone. It wasn't a voicemail message. And they'd answer the phone and the voice would say, you're going to die. And everybody that lived in this apartment complex got that call. And they were all freaking out about, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. Oh my God, what's going to happen? But what happened was, they all got together and they talked about receiving these calls. And what happened was they started to live more fully. They started to enjoy every single day because there was this idea that, oh my God, might I die? But contemplating the idea of potentially dying brought them to a new understanding of life. They were able to release the fear and the habits and the ideas. They became more present and more aware. Same thing happened. I think I talked to you about this some time ago. I took a Buddhism class at Antioch, and the professor said, for the next quarter, I want you to wake up every morning and say you're going to die. I thought, what a morbid kind of a class this is going to be. But around week 3, I was waking up every morning going, you're going to die! I was like, how did this happen? I don't know, but I think I'm going to go ride my bike today, and I'm going to come home and I'm going to plant my garden. And I just felt full of life because I was going to die. There's something that happens when we can release our attachments to what actually is and open ourselves up to that wider and that bigger thing. Stop fighting what is and open up to what life can bring me. Now, some of the reading I went into this week talked about how we can actually use that idea I just talked about. This reader, this author, actually suggested that maybe you would go to a hospital and visit those that are sick and dying. Maybe you would sit with someone who had passed. Maybe you would even visit a graveyard and meditate in the graveyard. That's somehow getting close to this idea, and that's what this time of year is to help us understand. Getting close to this idea of death is actually a way to experience more life, passing through the veil. Here I go again. The Psalms, 121. It's a beautiful one. It says, I lift my eyes up to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains, and I receive my help from the Lord. I lift mine eyes to the mountains, and I receive my help from the Lord. Very biblical, but also very metaphysical. In the science of mind and in metaphysics, we understand that whenever you see mountains in any kind of biblical passage, they're talking about higher consciousness. So I lift my eyes, the heart's eye, to higher consciousness. I lift my love to the highest consciousness of the divine. And then I receive my help from the Lord. What does the Lord do? The Lord rules over the land. The Lord is the lawgiver of the land. Ergo, the Lord metaphysically stands for the law. So if I lift mine eyes up to the mountains, my heart's eye of love to the highest consciousness, and I allow the law to help me, I know that now I am bringing together everything in the science of mind, love and law, to allow myself to have a bigger experience of life. This is what happens when we pass through that thin veil and allow ourselves to blend these things together to bring more peace into our lives. And that peace doesn't happen without a relationship with Spirit. Understanding that Spirit is the only cause, the only medium, and the only effect. So any effect we have, any appearance we have, is a God appearance. And since God is in love with novelty and change, that appearance can change as we apply our higher level consciousness and our love component together to create that new experience for us. That's what Dr. Holmes says in The Science of Mind. He says that new thoughts create new conditions. You must learn to think in the absolute. This means to think independently of any given or experienced effect. We get to shift that effect as we think independently. By thinking independently, we mean that we're not attached to what we're seeing. We're not attached to what we see on this side of the veil. We break through it because we see into the absolute. When we see into the absolute, we're seeing into the divine. We're seeing into God. Now, here's a really neat truth about that. Yes, we have made God. God is made in our image, or we've made God in its image. It's kind of a confusing thing. We think God in this thing, God, God, crazy. It's hard to talk about God. But one thing is true that I do find to be true is that this image and likeness that we are a part of God, that is our nature, is part of infinity. And see, in infinity is everything. God is never alone because everything exists in infinity and God is infinity and we are within infinity and we are also that expression of God. So therefore we are never alone. So everything that we do, we do in community. Our authentic personhood is to express ourselves in community because all that is existing is happening within this space that is infinity. So when we return from that veiled experience to find this side of it again, what we find is that we are all one, we're all together, and we're all here to live our highest and fullest life. And so it is. Mm-hmm. And here's our affirmation, coming alive. Transcending appearances, I move into a field of divine awareness where I become certain of my unfolding good. Yes, yes. Let's go into our revealing prayer at this moment. Oh, I'm feeling a little gong time here. Thank you for that. Thank you, Center, for that birthday gift, for that anniversary gift. All right, so this is the time when we get to know that absolute truth for ourselves and move ourselves beyond whatever experience we might be having at this time into something greater. And if the experience we're having right now is great, wonderful. Let's go even a step higher. That's what we get to do. That's the unfolding good that's here before us. So in this moment, I offer this time for each of us to bring into consciousness, bring to that higher mountain of consciousness, the love component that will mix with law to bring good into your life. Hold that in your thought right here and now. Let that vibration rise up into the room. And as you do so, I will know this truth. That the one life that is God is here fully manifest through each and every one of us. There is a divine presence that simply knows that it knows. And what it knows through each and every one of us, and we know through it. That is the unification idea. That is the experience of all of us being in the one. And there is power in this knowing. There is action in this knowing. There is doing in this knowing. By holding together this idea of the absolute, knowing it is the only medium, cause, and effect, I can use my consciousness here and now to affirm for each and every one of us more harmonious experiences in our life. Breaking through any idea of lack and limitation into abundance and prosperity. Knowing that whatever talents and skills are mine to utilize in the world, I get to use them for the exact and right purpose that brings me a sense of joy, satisfaction, and complete wholeness. I'm aware that wherever there appears to be a malady in the body temple, that it is right now removed and replaced by the wholeness that is really already there, that is being masked by an appearance that appears to be death, illness, or sickness. But by this word that we speak, we move into a space of wholeness. I know this truth for each and every person here and each and every person watching and all those that we hold in our consciousness. For the power of the divine knows no boundaries, and it moves outward in ripples of love and compassion to bring good into the lives of all that we hold in our hearts. This is the truth. This is how it works. This is how I believe it to be. And with gratitude, I release this word into that infinite law that says yes, and so it is.
So it is.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. Up above there, I don't know what that is, but up above there it says these are the ways you can support our community. You can visit our website at cslcme.org/donating. Text the word give. That's kind of fun. It's high-techy, you know. Text the word give, 805-600-5677, or you can call the office at 805-527-0870. And here is our pledge of affirmation and abundance for your life, and it says, divine work is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley now. Divine love is victorious.
Thank you for all these gifts from our community to our community. May each one be used to its fullest to go out into the world and create a place that works for everyone. And so it is.
Come on back up. One more from Nikki. Yeah.
Let's be butterflies. Times are changing right here, all around. Times are changing, crashing without a sound. There's no escaping, so I do what's for the better. 'Cause times are changing, affecting us all together. deeds. So I got to stand for what I believe. I will swim with the coming new tides that wash in and out of my life. I will stand through the changes that surround me. Different times and places I will see. Life's a test and it's plain to see. So I put my best foot forward and let my heart do the rest. 'Cause times are changing right here all around. Times are changing, crashing without a sound. There's no escaping, so I'll do what's for the better. 'Cause times are changing, affecting us all together. This world of ours keeps going round. TV and radio play, and they replay the sounds. Love and technology, yes, they're moving fast. Each day breaking the molded past of the past. What will nations deliver us? Love or war? What new things will I live to see? I will see through different eyes. Yes, I will. As new ideas bloom while we hold Times are changing right here and all around. Times are changing, crashing without a sound. There's no escaping, so I'll do what's for the better. 'Cause times are changing, affecting us all. 'Cause times are changing time. 'Cause times are changing times. It's times are changing times. 'Cause times are changing time. Say ooh, do do. Ooh, do do. There's no escaping. Ooh, do do. Ooh, do do. Times are changing time. It's times are changing times. It's times are changing times. It's times are changing times.
Nikki Starr.
Thank
Lovely.
you. Thank you, band.
Cool tune.
Thank you. Another original. Do you bring CDs and stuff when you come? Did you bring? You don't? Oh, you have iTunes. All right, you heard
Yeah,
that. She's got
stream.
iTunes.
Everybody's
Look her up.
streaming.
Everybody's streaming nowadays.
You're
That's
welcome.
right. That's showing my age. CDs, right? Did you bring some albums? You got some records? How about some 8-tracks? Yeah, 8-tracks. Anybody got any 8-tracks? Woo! Yeah. All right. So, Ron, thank you for your stage work today.
Yes, indeed.
Dee is running the slides. That was wonderful. You got the Jennifer videos up and everything. That was beautiful. Thanks so much for that. I think Terry was actually switching today, huh? Yeah, Terry's switching. Greg was just overseeing. That's wonderful. She's already taken over. I love that. And then Costa and the Schaefers ushering today. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. If we have any guests or visitors, new time, first time here, Karen, hold up your hand. Karen's back in the room. She's got all kinds of visitor packages that can give you all the lowdown on what's going on here at the center. And John, can you stick around a little bit for some prayer? Yes? So John will be underneath the exit sign after service to do any quick prayers that you might want to do, since Jennifer's probably not going to be on the phone to do prayers with you. Okay. All right, so we got all of that. And let's do the baskets for, here, I'm going to Nikki, would you grab one of those out of there since you're
Grab one.
take one of those out. Okay, read it. Who is it? Yeah, because you read it.
Free raffle, adult book gift basket.
Goes to
Goes to Ann Janey.
Ann Janey. Okay, that's somebody from the city. So this is somebody from the city. So Susan will reach out to her and get this, and that's her email. Perfect. So she's going to get the adult book basket. That's for Ann. And then for the kids, here's the biggest kid I can see right here in front of me. All right, who's that? What kid gets that?
Sandra. I have a phone number.
Oh, you have Sandra's phone number. Okay, Sandra's the winner, and it's the open one. I'll just put it back in. It's the one that's open. All righty, there you go. That's beautiful. These are all put together by our Cosmic Kid Maven. Dr. Susan,
Of
do you have
course.
kids today? They're all out trick-or-treating for Halloween. All right. Well, these are your baskets. You can give them away. That's wonderful. That's what we did for the street fair. Fantastic. Let's all stand, do our closing benediction, and we will sing and head out and do our own trick-or-treating then, perhaps. Here we go. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Here we go.
I don't remember what day it was, and I didn't notice what time it was. All I know is that I fell in love with you, and if all my dreams come true, I'll be spending time with you. And every day's a new day in love with you. With each day comes a new way of loving you. And every time I see your face, my mind starts to wander. And if all my dreams come true, I'll be spending time with you. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. I love you more today than yesterday, but darling, not as much as tomorrow. Tomorrow's day means springtime's just a day away. And Cupid, we don't need you now, be on your way. I thank the Lord for love like ours that grows ever stronger. And if all mine will be true, I know you feel the same way too. Oh, I love you more today than yesterday, but not as day. Oh, how I love you. I love you. Nice.
Never gets old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.